Menim deɛ sɛ wotumi monitor mampanin speech emra or commission Ghana Law House now. But on the issue of corruption, Otauti said it has been the cornerstone of his administration, citing a number of legal reforms were introduced, and based on that, Osusu said corruption and the fight against corruption, the cornerstone of his administration. From where you sit as a anti-corruption campaigner, sana usuhunu nana.
Unfortunately, no. That's not the reality. If the president says he's been the cornerstone of his tenure, then the majority of us disagree with him. It is true that he has done some substantive things. The passing of the right information is a major milestone to his credit. Setting up the office of the special prosecutor is a major milestone to his credit. But by and large, we do not seem to have done as much as was done previously in order to curb corruption. And so the various corruption indexes are showing that that has been more. If the president thinks that it has been a cornerstone, that's not the reality.
It's interesting that you refer to the reforms he has introduced and you describe them as significant, yet not enough to bridge the gap between corruption and what we envisage as a nation. Help me reconcile that.
Yes. I mean, you can always have substantive actions, but fighting corruption is a holistic thing. You don't do one or two things and think that because of that, corruption will reduce. No. Beyond passing a law on the right information, beyond setting up an office, as Obama said, we don't just need strong institutions, we also need strong leadership. Leadership that has a posture where if any member of government is identified or flagged as potentially having engaged in corruption, you isolate that person. You don't make any comments that seem to suggest that you are supporting that person or you are doubting that that person has done anything wrong. You keep a neutral position. And that way, all the others who need to take the investigation seriously will not seem as if or feel as if I might lose my job if I do the right thing. So strong leadership is also required. And then there's also the other areas of ensuring that public perception on the issues you are constantly dealing with. People raise issues, you must investigate and make sure that they are being dealt with. Don't allow those perceptions to foster over time. And then we have a situation where we have fallen from a high of 60% trust in the government to I think now it's about 15% trust in the government in terms of fighting corruption. That's an extremely low position.
Beyond that, what significantly would be your checkpoints in terms of his performance in fighting corruption? He, for the second time, has reacted to the clearing agent tag that the former president has given to him. And on this occasion, he sought to deal with that aspect as well. What would be your reference point when you say that you and a number of people within the anti-corruption space do not agree with him when he says that fighting corruption the way he has is the cornerstone of his administration?
Well, I mean, if you take a chairman went to me and the issue of the forest issue, before we could have gotten anywhere, the president made a categorical statement on a platform that he wants to assure whichever committee was inaugurating that it is not true. The company, forgotten the name, is not engaged in any illegal
Akonta mining.
Akonta mining. We have not even done the investigation. A number of us went to CID to follow up. We were told nobody had done a formal report. We went back the next week. 4 of us, we signed, we submitted. It's over a year, getting to 2. Nothing has come out of it. Again, Adapa, even before the investigation had been run through, the president was saying, I am sure nothing will be found and he will be vindicated. That again was not a good example. If you take Article, I believe it's 284 of the Constitution, it says that a public officer shall not put themselves in a position of likely conflict of interest, either in relation to the performance of their work. What it means is that your personal interest should not at any point seem to get you to do your work in a way that it is influenced. And any time the president has to speak on issues where it has to do with people who he knows, who have been close to him, he does not appear to know that he's being confronted. You know, he makes statements that appear to clear people. And so this tag is not necessarily from the previous president. I mean, he may have said it, but it's something that many of us have said, look, Mr. President, you continuously do this thing where your personal interest seems to interfere with you giving a neutral statement where you don't seem to have taken a position on a case that is before substantive anti-corruption agencies, which is not right.
Did you say that in the case of Akonta Mining Company Limited and its invasion of a forest reserve, at the time you had gone to inquire from the police, there was no official report in spite of the wide publication of the matter?
Yes, and that was extremely worrying for us. We went to the police headquarters almost 3 months after this issue had been going on, and it was simply a concern that, look, if nobody is taking action, it will leave the impression that impunity reigns. So, have the police heard about this before? What actions have they taken? And then they said there have been no formal reports. And we're surprised because we don't think there is a situation where it is only when formal reports, when somebody's been alleging that there's a crime, the police should take action.
And this,
so
we say...
Monday, we went back and had to fill forms saying we are making a report on behalf of the people of this country. But this issue must be investigated. We met the head of the CID, we had a top head of investigation. How many years later? Nothing has come out of it.
And you say that you made this intervention 3 months after the reports were all over the place. 3
months after the thing had been brewing, and because we were worried that, look, nobody seems to be taking action, and if things continue like this, this is how anarchy begins. People begin to think that you can get away with anything. No, somebody needs to call corporates to book, and for people to be seen that when you are being held accountable when you do the wrong thing. So we're just checking, have the police or anybody taken up this issue? And we're told no, there's no formal report, so nothing has started.
So the police was waiting for an official report before they would...
The police were waiting for an official report. So we had to go back the following Monday, I, Martin Pebu, and a few others, to make sure that there was a formal report. You know, it was very shocking for some of us, but, well, that was the case. So we went back to file the report.
All right. We'll have to leave it here. But for you, the verdict is that the fight against corruption cannot be the cornerstone of Nana Addo's administration.
No.
Well, Adam, we'll leave it here. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.